Hello everyone, nubkeks here, welcome back to NubRARES, and in today's video, I'm actually recording this the day before, because I'm going to be fairly busy over the next couple of days, but should be live in-game right now, a special challenge rules spider tournament using only rare champions. Well, we're going to be able to take down stage 20 with rares only. In today's video, quick word from the sponsor of today's video first, and then we'll dive into it. Before we dive into that though, legends will be born. It's Bloodline Heroes of Lithus, the sponsor of today's video. It's a brand new gacha game that's just released on Android and iOS. It has an amazing art style. When you're on your phone, this is played in portrait mode, and it looks absolutely incredible. I love the combat where you're fighting your way up the screen. Really cool. And not only is there shard pulling for champions in this game, but there's this whole unique heir system, right? By going through a romance system and choosing your partner, you can then go through, you have kids, you raise up your heirs, you train them for combat, and then they start fighting for you. You can even marry your champions to each other, and they can have kids. It's pretty crazy, actually. There's a lot of customization in there. So a couple of examples of champions. You've got Karg. He's a dragonborn. He can turn into a dragon. Very cool. Or there's like Hannes, who is a werewolf. I don't think he turns into a werewolf. I think he's just always a werewolf. And then one example of a companion you can romance is Fulgur. You can flip their gender at will, so whichever you prefer. Guys, to download and try out the game, it is free on Android and iOS. Follow the link down below in the description, and you're going to get some awesome rewards in game. You're actually going to get a starter pack worth $30, which includes 2 summoning crystals, 5 stamina potions, and 200 diamonds. So make sure to click it there. You can scan the QR code that is on screen as well. And yeah, thank you to Bloodline for sponsoring today's video. Let's get back to it. All right, we are back, and actually, believe it or not, the best champion for this, or one of the best champions for this, I don't actually currently have, unfortunately, and that's Wagon Bane. You guys that watch my Ultimate Death Knight interview will probably remember it's his favorite champion. You know, just this guy who woke up one day and was like, you know what? I just really hate wagons. I'm going to go destroy them, and that's what he does. He's actually perfect for this dungeon, though. He has a single target attack with a 100% chance when booked of placing decreased defense and decreasing target's turn meter by 15%. So out of all the rares for the affinities that we're going to be looking at here for Spider, because we're obviously not going to be doing stage 21 and 25 with rares, he's actually the best. He also then brings a heal on his A2, which is actually quite useful too. So Wagon Bane is straight up the best. Unfortunately, I don't have him. We're going to bring in Dilgal instead to back up. So let's jump over here to Spider's Den. Let me show you the run. With the champions, I've got a fairly budget version of this team. We've got level 50 Dilgal. Let's just click start and let's go. So the key for how this team works, I actually have a very fast Renegade. She can be very slow though either. We want her in to reset the cold hearts. We've got 2 cold hearts here. So we're going to come through. Here goes Dilgal. He is going to do 3 attacks with a really good chance of placing decreased defense. We actually then have, I forget his name. I've completely blanked on his name. He's going to come in. I'll show you the champion, and he's going to taunt the enemies, which is great. We're going to get the reset there off of Renegade. This guy goes unkillable, and he's going to re-provoke in a second when he gets another turn. I actually do have a blessing on him to make this more consistent. You can see 1 cold heart with reflex set actually went straight into the Heartseeker. 2nd cold heart goes in. And there we go, 39 seconds, Gnarlhorn. That was his name. That was his name, Gnarlhorn. So there it is, all rare team that is capable of doing this. And you can actually do this faster and better as well with different champions in there too. So for example, you could maybe cut out the Renegade, but I think it does make it work pretty well. So let's take a little look here. So what do we have going on? Cold Heart, first of all. Let's cover the 2 cold hearts. For doing stage 20, these are pretty much essential, right? The reason being they come in with a Heartseeker, which does a massive hit because it's based on enemy max HP and also decreases the turn meter. So we've got 2 cold hearts. The first one is built like this, so really high crit damage. The second one is built like this, so high crit damage as well. Yeah, I mean, honestly, you can make this faster and more consistent as well, even perhaps bringing in a 3rd cold heart and cranking their crit damage up even more. In terms of masteries, I do have them going into Flawless Execution for more crit damage with these these cold hearts. I think the other one is the same. Yeah, the other one is the same. And the rest doesn't super matter. I do have Phantom Touch here. However, for stage 20, this is better. Phantom Touch is better for stage 21 to 25 because you're going to max out your damage anyway. And this is like an extra proc, kind of like War Master on top. I actually think for this stage, Hero Soul, which increases your damage per enemy, this would actually be a better bet overall. It's going to give you attack, up your damage, and that scaling damage for each enemy. There's a bunch of Spiderlings out there. You could get like 10% extra damage, which is actually pretty huge. So that's probably a bit better, but Phantom Touch is going to be just fine as a choice. For Renegade, she's going to come in and do our reset. She does not need to be booked, and she also doesn't need to be fast like I have her here. She's giving us a resistant all battle aura. You could also use Gnarlhorn's aura. She has faultless defense because I wasn't paying attention. She should have Phantom Touch. There we go. There we go. Fixed. She should have Phantom Touch. Amazing. But yeah, for her stats, I have her very fast at 275. This is for dungeon speed farm teams with Seer. This is for like Doom Tower with Seer. Doesn't need to be this quick. She either needs to be faster than both Cold Hearts, and preferably as well faster than Gnarlhorn, or she needs to be slower than them. I do think it works best if she is faster, just to make Gnarlhorn a bit more consistent, but you can do it either way, guys. You can do either way, is going to be okay. Her masteries aren't finished. If she has War Master, it's going to be more consistent because she'll do an extra chunk of damage to the boss, and that's basically that. Gnarlhorn is amazing for this. So he comes in, turn 1, he's going to provoke all the enemies and give himself increased defense. Turn 2, then we're going to set up the AI so he makes himself unkillable for 2 turns, and then he's hopefully going to come back around and get another provoke out at some point as well. One cheeky thing I've done is I've given him Survival Instinct. Now he's only tier 1 awakened, right? But he gets 2% turn meter whenever a debuff is placed on him, right? So whenever he gets a poison, he gets 2% turn meter. It's going to give him some more HP and some more turn meter fill if we get it up higher. I think that's just kind of nice to make the speed requirement a bit easier, but you could put him with whatever you want if you wanted to. I think this is pretty good. He has no masteries. I do have him in a regen set to try keep him alive. I've been building him up for a secret room, and he's a bit slow for that secret room, but for this he actually works just great. So 205 speed. I have him with 63,000 health and 1.9-ish K defense, and it's enough for him to survive, but barely. 158 resistance. He gets a bit more resistance from Renegade's aura, and then with the final member of the team here, that does sort of go together to resist some of those poisons. Not super important, but there it is. 222 accuracy is needed. So yeah, he's pretty great. And then finally, we have the one that might be a bit of a surprise, perhaps, but Dilgal. He's a rare dwarf. He's level 50. And yeah, what he does, he is coming in. He has to be faster than the Cold Hearts, and he needs about 200 accuracy. But the way that it works is that he comes in here, and he has 50% times 3 chance to place. Sorry, that's the wrong move. Derp. He's got triple hitter here with a, not that. It's got a 65% chance to place decreased defense. You could give him sniper to make this better. Let me do some quick maths. Okay, quick maths done. With 3 hits at 65% chance, he's got roughly a 95% chance to successfully place decreased defense. I could be wrong, but I think so. He does need to be booked for this, as do the Cold Hearts, and as does our I keep forgetting his name. Keep wanting to say Greybeard. Gnarlhorn. He needs to be booked as well. But yeah, he comes in with this. It's just one of the most consistent decreased defense champions. Now, obviously, if you build him up to level 60 and you build him to hit hard, it's again going to make this more consistent. If you give him masteries and you give him War Master, it's going to make this more consistent because he's going to hit that spider hard. All right, so if we go in, we run this again so we can see it in action. Here we go. Come on, Dilgal. Placed it the first hit. That's fantastic. And the Cold Hearts are doing their stuff. Great. So yeah, obviously this will be better if you build Dilgal with more damage. It's going to be more consistent. There's the decreased accuracy, which actually not that essential now that I look at it. You could go with something different. But yeah, we'll see. The provokes wear off. Dilgal's going to start to be killed. So again, if Dilgal was tankier, this would be a little bit better. We get the provoke back on. Good. That's going to keep that Cold Heart alive, which is what we need. The Phantom Touch did a bit of damage. We're actually slightly short. Oh, yeah. We're slightly short on damage here. We didn't do as much this time. I'm not sure why, actually. I'm not sure what happened there. So we might actually fail. Yeah, okay. So I guess it's not 100%. Definitely not quite 100%. Yeah, look. The boss actually is living with a very small amount right there. So look, honestly, I would say, look, you can clearly see, yeah, he's going to reset. Okay, you can clearly see it's not 100% with this exact setup. Gnarlhorn did his job. The Cold Hearts did fine. You'd want to crank the Cold Heart damage up a bit more. You'd want to get, if you got War Master on Gnarlhorn, Renegade, and Dilgal, they do more damage. And definitely making Dilgal actually hit hard, that would take the boss down 100% of the time. So this can absolutely be a 100% team. Obviously getting higher awakened phantom touches on these champions is going to help a bit too. But yeah, so we're not quite 100% with this setup. Now for me, it's not really worth, like, for the sake of one tournament, it's not really worth powering this stuff up, but it's something I might consider. Like, we might rank up Dilgal for the lols and gear him up to smack, make it 100%. But if, like this, you're not able to do it 100%, Stage 10 is really good. Stage 10 gives you way more points than it should for these sorts of tournaments, because basically it drops, there's like a slight error in the code. They've never fixed it. They just don't seem to care. Which makes the boss basically drop slightly better gear than he should. So that will sort of speed you up. We can see 2 Heart Seekers. He's almost down with the exact same team. I'm going to show you a second team with some different variations as well. And of course, as you can see, Wagon Bane would be better than Dilgal in these. That was 21 seconds. I've actually got a second variation of the team, which is slightly different. So with this variation of the team, we're actually going to bring in a level 3 Stitched Beast. The Stitched Beast. He's going in. He's doing his thing. You could also, by the way, use War Maiden here. Actually, that might even be better. War Maiden would bring you decreased defense on the boss. 100% chance. And of course, everyone has War Maiden. So if you don't have him... Oh, unfortunately, I'm going to rerun this a couple of times so we get it to work. Stitched Beast, I don't yet have booked. We almost got the kill right there. But yeah, Stitched Beast can place Weaken. So let me see what happens if we get him to place it. I'll actually show you the setup real fast so you can see how it's supposed to go. Stitched Beast, he's not booked yet. I will probably book him. Right now he's got 2 25% chances, which is kind of bad. We can book that up to 2 50% chances to place Weaken. And Weaken, alongside decreased defense, is going to make this basically as consistent as possible. Let's actually take out Dilgal. Let's put in War Maiden, who I believe is also in a stun set, so it will slightly speed us up as well. Where are you, War Maiden? It's so confusing now to find champions. Maybe she's in the vault, actually. It's so confusing with them all bouncing around with these blessings and stuff. Everything's in weird orders. Very confusing. So if we go in with War Maiden, she should do her AoE stun. She should be faster than Cold Heart. Yeah, barely, actually. Barely. Here we go. I think. Oh, he didn't do it. You let me down, Stitched Beast. She's actually... Okay, so she's actually going to slow it down for me because she hit that so hard. But we actually, bam, we take him down. With that extra damage from War Maiden, a little bit extra. Maybe she procced War Master on the boss. She does it in 16 seconds, which is pretty slick. I'm gonna try this one more time with the Dilgal and try get the time for you guys if we do it with Dilgal and with successfully landing the Weaken. I'm saving my books for when CVC starts, unfortunately, which is why we're messing around a little bit. All right, guys, here we go. This is the run. We got the Weaken. I also took out Renegade. She wasn't actually doing anything on this stage 10 run. And here we go, the 2 Heart Seekers, and bam, 11-second clear time with these rare champions. And again, super budget. Stitch Beast and Dilgal are not doing any damage. They simply need to be faster than your 2 Cold Hearts. They need to have enough accuracy, and they don't need much because it's only stage 10. And there you go. You can really quickly clear stage 10. And just in terms of your average points for a tournament, it's going to work out really well. So I think that's a really fun little budget thing. Stitch Beast, actually a really good budget option for this in general. Believe it or not, I actually pulled a 6-star soul for him, and I sold it. Like, he's the first one I pulled. But he comes in. He's got this Weaken. Decent chance to Weaken. He's got, what, a 75% chance to place Weaken with this, which is pretty good for a rare. And then he also has got a 100% turn meter depletion right here, which is cool. Double hitter there, which isn't too important. But he is an attack-based champion. You can build him to hit pretty hard. So definitely for stage 10, you know, for stage 20, this is not going to hit anywhere near as hard as Cold Heart. But for stage 10, it's not going to be too far off. So if you don't have a Cold Heart, you could definitely look into Stitch Beast as a potential option. But hopefully you've got a couple of Cold Hearts. Obviously on stage 10, you could just run whoever as well. It's totally going to work. We can throw in a quick final budget team here. But yeah, let me know what you guys are going to do for me. I'm not going to do... Let me just build up a team. I'll be right back. Okay, great. So diving in with just a few rares that I've kind of built up for secret rooms and stuff, just to give you like a rough idea. We can just go in with a bunch of nukers at stage 10, and we will get through it. It's not going to be like super fast or anything. but we can definitely do it. They will take this boss down eventually. So if you want to just brute force it with a bunch of random rares, you absolutely can. Obviously not as slick as the cold heart strategy, but it still will work. It just might take some time. So yeah, there you go. Like I said, for me, I'm not probably going to do this. It will depend on the tournament group and stuff like that, and it depend on the rewards. But I'm not like super crazy about it just because it's going to be during CVC. And during CVC, this is going to be personal rewards CVC. My clan goes really hard, so I'm going to be farming Spider stage 25. You know, doing stage 10 like this, and certainly doing even stage 20, it's just not good. Neither of those are really any good. So there you go. You can see it's a slower run, like 50 seconds, with a bunch of random rares that are just going in and nuking and whatnot with different quality of gear. Really nothing too crazy with the gear, so you can just blow them up with a typical team on stage 10. But yeah, I might throw the Cold Heart team, the quick Cold Heart team, into stage 10 a few times just to get it done quickly. Stage 20 I would do perhaps, but I actually wouldn't bother with it just because I'd have to level up Dilgal to 50 to make it, or 60 to make it fully consistent. And I just, what's the point really at the moment? But it's something to consider for the future. But there you go. That is the tournament. Let me know how it's going for you. The Spider 10 trick comes in clutch once again. But yeah, I mean, there could be really good things in here, maybe a void shard or something, so it might be worth doing if you're not going hard for CVC. For me, I'm gonna be doing, like I said, Fire Knight and CVC. I'm gonna be doing Spider and CVC, all that sort of stuff. So I'm not gonna have time probably to do much of this, but hopefully this video helps. Thanks for watching. All rares, actually capable of doing stage 20 as well. There you go. See you next time. Bye bye.